academic achievement, and positive leadership qualities. Her quiet leadership has helped her rise to the top, both in the classroom and in the athletic arena. Her peers walk away from interactions with her having a better understanding of how to coalesce their ideas and push to take intellectual risks. It is with great pleasure that I present the Colonial Council Principals Award to Alina Rose Broderick. The Class of 2002 Americanism Award. In memory of the tragic events of September 11th, the parents of the class of 2002 established a fund to recognize a faculty member who exemplifies the spirit of good citizenship and instills those virtues in his or her students. This award is named the Americanism Award, and the recipient receives a $1,000 cash prize. The 2022 Americanism Award goes to Mr. Chris Conway. For our next award, I would like to invite Betsy Sonoborn Hamill up to the lectern.
Hello, everyone. Congratulations, seniors, no longer seniors. Before I get to the actual award, I want you to know that friendships here that you've established are a lifetime. My class has been meeting by Zoom monthly. We graduated 54 years ago. Sometimes there are 12 of us, sometimes there are 6 of us, sometimes there are 30 of us on this Zoom meeting, but we meet monthly. We are taking the summer off, but we will be back together in September. It has been absolutely fascinating to find out where everybody is, what everybody's doing, what everybody's reading, what people are thinking. As you heard, my name is Betsy Hamill. I'm here to award the Elizabeth Accessor Sonoborn Award. Betty Sonoborn is my mother. She's from the class of 1940. It is the love of life, learning, and sharing that my mother has, this award is based on. And this is why my 3 brothers and myself established this award on her 80th birthday. She is now 100. Thank you. We had established this award to last until she's 100, but now that she's there, we're thinking maybe we need to extend it to 110. It's interesting because NYU is doing a study on our family and trying to figure out the longevities and why the longevities. I have an uncle that lived 103, I have someone who lived 108. Nobody had died before 94. So there is something, I don't know what they're doing with the information, but they interview us every year, figuring out what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, seeing if it has anything to do with anything. She would have loved to have been here today, but due to her mobility, we didn't think you wanted to sit for 20 minutes while she worked her way up to the stage. But I will be visiting her on my way home and telling her all about today. She does send her best to all. This award is different than others that are given. It is a monetary award. It's to be given to a young lady to spend as she wished. It can be used to help her follow her dream, to feed her curiosity, to pay it forward, or just to buy a pair of hiking boots. It is to take advantage of what life has to offer. This year's recipient is committed to bettering the world around her. She's dedicated to keeping her feet on the ground, experiencing the world around her in every way possible. It is no surprise that this student is interested in pursuing work with an international scope, and we have no doubt that she will go on to better lives of everyone around her. It is with my great pleasure that this year's Elizabeth Accessor Sonoborn Award goes to Ma Ai.
Now, please join me in welcoming Samantha Myron, class of 2010 and president of the Alumni Council, to the lectern.
Good morning. It is my pleasure to present the Mildred Hinman Straub Community Service Award today. The Mildred Hinman Straub Community Service Award is presented to the senior who demonstrates personal motivation and commitment to her community through involvement in activities directly benefiting others. This year's recipient has dedicated countless hours to various organizations throughout her time in upper school, whether it was through the work she did in her community or right here in our own school community organizing the annual blood drive. This student knows the power of giving back. She is selfless in nature and goes out of her way to understand the various ways small gestures can have a large impact on someone's life. It is my pleasure to present this year's Mildred Hinman Straub Community Service Award to Brooke Tower O'Brien.
Well, I guess I don't have to welcome you back up because you're already
Sneaking up behind. The Head of School Award. The Head of School Award is presented to the senior who has made a significant contribution to the overall life of the school. And this year's recipient has made a larger than life impact on so many facets of our school. This student has been a member of more clubs and organizations than we can list today. However, she has had a significant impact on everything ranging from robotics to student government. Our halls are certainly going to feel her absence next year. It is with great pleasure that I announce this year's Head of School Award recipient, Kendall Helen Azam.
Next, we'll have the presentation of the class gift. Coming in as a junior, Pia quickly acclimated to the AAG community and immediately excelled in all her endeavors. She served in her role as a senior class president humbly, truly representing the voice of the class as a selfless servant leader. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the president of the class of 2022, Pia Di Gisaldo.
It is a tradition at the Albany Academies for the senior class and their parents to present a parting gift to the school in honor of the graduating class. This year, our room parents, Christine Ritigliano, mother of Joseph Castellini, and Kathy Smith, mother of Emily Smith, chose the laying of 2 new pathways as our class's parting gift to the school. In the coming months, 1 new pathway will be installed in the courtyard at AAG, and another pathway will be installed between the north doors of AA and the new class of 1970 pavilion. Both of these locations will also have a plaque that reads, "This pathway was placed thanks to the generous support of the Albany Academy's class of 2022 and their families." We are proud to add these permanent improvements to our campus and grateful to all of the parents who supported this gift. Thank you.
Thank you, Pia. And before we get to the diplomas, we have one more speech. It is from our ranking scholar. Our valedictorian has a presence and outlook on life of which we should all take notice. She is confident, of superior intellect, has a phenomenal sense of humor, and shows great appreciation for others and the community. Please join me in welcoming the valedictorian of the 208th graduating class of Albany Academy for Girls, Millie Lynn.
Thank you, Dr. Milliken. It is a great honor for me to stand here today, and I'd like to thank the parents, friends, teachers, administrators, and the class of 208 in advance for listening to my personal anecdotes and unsolicited college advice. So firstly, of course, I will drop a random fact about myself. I turned 20 years old 3 days ago. Thank you. Most people don't realize this, but Americans have a conflicting perception of age. Here are my observations as a cross-cultural spectator. Observation 1. When someone tells a 15-year-old girl, "You don't look that young at all, you look like you're 25," that girl will be happy. Observation 2. When someone tells a 55-year-old woman that she looks 65, does not produce the same result. That woman will be upset. Now that's very confusing to me, a Chinese person, because I would think the same group of people who look 10 years older when they're 15 will likely look 10 years older when they're 55. What's even more interesting is how I, who travel frequently between the US and China, adapt to the different environments. True story, when I was in China last year and a lady at a nail salon told me I looked 14, I said, "Thank you. That is so flattering and just made my day," which would be a normal response in China. But in the last few months, when people said similar things to me, while the Chinese person in me was secretly happy, I also realized that I was in the States, where I shouldn't be happy. So I acted like I was offended. I said, "That's mean." I did this all unconsciously. And when I realized this unconsciousness, I was alarmed because that tells me of how much of what I say and do is just mirroring the environment. I will say things that are normal. We will also feel the urge to be normal when we're in college, where being different and insisting on certain values can take a toll on your social life. But be the person who's too much if you're that person. Make everyone uncomfortable if necessary. College is a place where we are, in some aspects, assimilated into the society. But it is also a place where we gather the strength and courage to be different, where we are trained to defend our unique self. We're all unique. Sometimes we can forget that, and it's even easier to forget that when we're in college, where there is so much talent. It's hard to not compare yourself to others, because I started doing that because we started doing that when we were little kids. Last year, one day, my little sister, who's 12 years old, ran to me, looking upset, and told me about that girl in her class, who's always the top of her class when it comes to academics. Chinese, English, math, science, you name it, she always gets high scores. So I told my sister, "Honey, there's no need to be upset. I happen to know this friend of yours. I had to have a conversation with her mom in your last parent-teacher conference because our mom was too lazy to attend it. And her mom is really strict with her. She wouldn't let her go to dance practices because she thinks her daughter should focus on academics. And look at you. You may not be the valedictorian. Why would you want to? It's not even cool. But you get outstanding grades too. And you manage to do cheerleading, dancing, and singing at the same time? You overlook these things because you're already good at them. But I am able to see them as your older sister. And in my eyes, you're the most talented little girl in the whole world. And after I said that, I thought to myself, wow, well said. She couldn't ask for a better older sister. In my 3 years at the academies, sometimes I feel like an older sister. As I walk in the AEG campus, I see artistic abilities, I see athletic abilities, I see beauty, I see kindness, I see strength. But I'm often surprised to hear the girls that I admire so much talk about their insecurities and realize they don't know what a start they are. So I want to take this opportunity to speak in front of all of you to tell you that at some point during my last 3 years here, I admired you, and each for a different reason. The last thing I want to talk about is mental health. Some of you are like, great, another minute of mindfulness. But the truth is, being happy matters, and it takes a lot to be happy. High school has been a lot of work. Wait till college. Do you think you're mentally stable? Wait till college. Of course, I think some of us will be just fine. I've seen some fellow classmates just not show up because they don't want to, and some bounce right back after they get a 40. I really am not worried about them stressing in college. But those people are mainly on the boys' side, so they're not really bad. I also saw some of my classmates stressed before exams and dream walk in the AEG campus on the day when their college results came out. And those are the people that I worry about the most. Remember to exercise. Your body is a lot like a positive feedback system. Your mood can affect whether or not you want to exercise, but the reverse is also true. The fact that you're moving can help take your mind off your worries. Other than that, eat well, get enough sleep, and talk to the adults you trust when you're feeling down. In fact, my journey at the academy started with poor mental health. I decided to leave my previous high school in the middle of my junior year because I was showing symptoms of depression. I was going to therapies and on medication for a few months before I decided that those weren't helping me. Imagine if I just end my speech here. So I told my parents that I wanted to go to a completely new environment. And that was the reason why I ended up here. AEG has cured me, and the conversations I had with amazing faculty members here are to thank for that. I would like to end my speech by expressing my gratitude to all the teachers who had an impact on my life and many others. I remember reading one sentence in Chinese. I couldn't find who said it, but it translates as, teaching is the most respectable profession because a bad teacher can destroy a person without getting punished. But a good teacher can repair a person without getting rewarded. The teachers at the academies are the people who made my decision 3 years ago the best decision in my life so far. And I think I speak for my class when I say that our faculty members have truly been an asset to the AEG community. To the class of 208, I'm so lucky to have landed amongst you 3 years ago. With our strong bond to the school and each other, and our determination to succeed, I'm confident that we'll become the class to donate the most back to the school 20 years later. Thank you.
ceremony thus far has been wonderful. I'm sure you all enjoyed Millie's speech. Yeah. And now, Mrs. King, would you please come to the lectern? And members of the dais, please prepare to confer diplomas on the class of 2022.
Good morning. And now we will present the diplomas to the class of 2022. We, on behalf of the trustees and faculty of the Albany Academy for Girls, will now grant diplomas to the members of the class of 2022, aka 208, in testimony that they have completed the studies prescribed in the requirements for graduation for thorough scholarship, uniform observance of the rules of this institution, and general propriety of deportment. We award them their diplomas as the highest expression of our collective approbation. Sajida Afreen.